Hello folks, and welcome to the channel, or welcome back. And if you're watching this video, you most likely have an MGB. The MGB has brake drums in the back, and inside the brake drums you will find the brake shoes. They will wear out over time, and they may even get spoiled with oil, especially if the seal from the drive shaft is leaking oil from the differential into the brake drum. In this video we're going to fix both issues.
These drums are held in place by small screws, and sometimes they're hard to get out. And I like to use a shock screwdriver to knock these out. Once they're going, you should be good. So now we should be able to get the drum off. So the lining on the brake pads is still quite all right. I think it's still about, let's see, 5-6 millimeters, so that should be more than good enough. I don't see no abnormal wear and tear. So now we can reassemble this side and then we check the other side. So even the drum looked good at the inside, so that can all go back on. And I took the opportunity to paint it. I like clean things, so when I inspected the left rear wheel, I noticed that there was a lot of oil around, and the brake liners were also pretty greasy. So those are cleaned up. I probably will replace them, but I suspect that the seal is gone. So I'm going to try to take this hub off and then see what the issue is. Because the last thing you want is to have oil on your brakes. So that went easy. This should come off very simple. If you look closely underneath here, you can actually see oil coming out. And this is the oil coming from the differential. It's not that there's too much oil in the differential because we let it all drip out, so it's now level. But this seal is most likely gone. So we'll have to replace the seal and maybe even the color. I will have to drain again the differential oil. Right, so let's get the oil out of the differential, and I'm not gonna waste it, I'm gonna catch it because this is fresh oil. The thing is, I probably don't need to let it drain completely if the level is low enough so it doesn't get into the axles, then it should be okay. I'm gonna put the plug back. There are different ways to get a seal out, and sometimes it's easy and sometimes it can be a real pain in the ass. Damage the sides too much, but it is coming out, as you can see. And here is the seal. The edges over here feel a bit sharp, so I'm going to use the Dremel to smooth that up, because when I put the new seal up, I don't want it to be damaged right away. It's going to slightly deburr the edges. Installing the new seal isn't all that complicated. Making sure everything is clean, that there's no sharp edges that could damage the rubber, and also this insert here, make sure that that is intact. If it's grooved, then you have to change it, otherwise you will lose oil on this conic part as well. So I just make sure everything is cleaned up properly. Here's our seal, and I like to put some grease on the inside. Not too much, just a little bit so it slides on properly, and a little bit on the outside. I'm going to try to push it in gently. Now, to get it further in, I have a little tool here, which is a piece of a plumbing system, but it has a nice neck or collar, and I can put this on there and then knock that in gently. You can use whatever you like to use for that, but this for me has always worked.
Alright, the seal is in and all is looking good.
I found a lot of oil on the brake shoes themselves, on the linings, and this lining is now saturated with oil. You can rub it down with abrasive paper, but it's not going to help you because it's all the way inside. So I need to replace as well the brake shoes, and I'm going to do this on both sides. If you look closely on the brake shoes on this car, then you will notice that there is nothing here. This is where normally you would find a bar and a cable which is used for your manual brake. This car doesn't have it because it's intended for the track. So we don't have that one. But for the rest it's the same. So you will have to remove the springs, and they can be a little bit tough, especially the bottom one here. But if you remove the top one first, that typically helps you out quite a bit. After you have released these locking pins on both sides, you just push it in and turn it, and then that can come loose. And not all that complicated. But if you look closely on the brake shoes themselves, you will notice that there is one side with the lining all the way to the end, and there's another part or area on the same shoe whereby you have no lining in the beginning. So it's kind of a run-in period. So if you consider the wheel is spinning anti-clockwise if you drive forward, then you should have the kind of a run-in area always first into that direction. Now these are the new pads that I ordered up. They are exactly the same as you can see. And here you can also see that kind of a run-in area. So remember, if you put the brake pads up, that you do it in the right way, like so. Not like this, because that would be the wrong direction. So keep that in mind. One of the things to affect the braking difference between the front and the rear of the car is by changing the diameter or the bore of this little brake cylinder here. That always works, so you can adjust it with different sizes, so the force on braking is more or less. So the first thing I'm going to do is to unlock the brake pads by rotating this. It's very simple. You just push it down a bit and then you rotate it. And these are the two little things that come out. I'm just going to put that aside. Do the same thing on this side. You push and rotate, and you can see it is actually slotted. There we go. Sometimes you might have to hold the back, but in general that's quite all right. If the stuff is still in a good condition, of course. So now you almost can move these pads around, as you can see, right? So you might be able to pull them out from the top, which makes it easier for that top spring to be released. And you've seen that the spring is actually in the back. Now, if you're not sure about where the spring is supposed to go, then you can always use a marker and then mark it up where it should be. And now we can remove easily the bottom part. So that was very easy on this car, wasn't it? But that's just because there is no manual brake. I'm going to clean this up now. So this is part of the brake adjustment. This is used to adjust the brake shoes, and there is an insert like so where the brake shoe fits into, and this goes actually in here, and there is two of them, one on the other side as well. Now in the back there is a screw that you can turn in, and it will push these metal pieces out. You'll see that. So let me just turn it and watch this side here. You see it's coming out, and this is on how you're going to adjust it. And it works in both ways, also on the other side. So I always like to have this mechanism double-checked and greased and cleaned each time I change my brake pads. Here they are, the new brake pads. I'm just going to slide them on the cylinder in the bottom first. And then I'm going to connect them up. And that's where they should sit. And remember what I explained to you before, the run-in area. It's on the top, so always in the direction of the wheel going forward. So it would be like this. And we can put back these small pieces from the back that need to come through. And you might want to hold those once you put everything back together. These things are a little bit tricky to put up sometimes, but at the end you will succeed. And now my hands are really cold because it's about 1 degree centigrade here, and the metal is cold, so you don't have a lot of feeling. To adjust the brake shoes that the brake drum fits properly, you need to rotate a square rod in the back of that adjuster. Now to do that, you're going to need a square socket or something like that, and I don't have it. But I have here a standard socket, and I'm going to use this one with a bolt and a couple of nuts, so I can put this together like this, and this square part will fit perfectly onto that rod. And then on the other side, I'm just using another socket, and now I can rotate this very easily. So this is what I'm going to do right now. Here is that piece, so I'm just going to stick it on there, and then we can start rotating it. Now I've set them to the minimum right now, so I'm going to open them up, and you can see if I rotate that the shoes are opening up, right? So this is something I will need to adjust once the drum is on, but before I put the drum on, I need to put the hub up first, so let's do that. The torque on the nut is 150 pound-feet, and as you can see, it's set up for 150 or 203 Newton meters. So I'm going to tighten that up. So I'm going to block that with a bar, because otherwise you can't tighten that nut. There we go. Now it might be that the split pin isn't going to fit, and I'm lucky it just fits, but if it doesn't fit, you turn it back a bit. So now we can put the drum back on, and I've cleaned out the drum entirely at the inside because that was a bit greasy. Now, putting the drum up might need a little bit of fiddling around with the brake shoes because they may not be fully centered, so keep that in mind. And also make sure that the adjustment is all the way to the minimum. All right, let's see if we can get it on. You know, you can feel this is now rotating freely. One of the things I'm going to do now is lock them first here with these special screws, and then we will actually push the brakes once to get everything in place and see how it feels then. And then we will adjust the back nut to get these brake shoes open a bit so that the drum is not stuck, but is almost touching the brake shoes, but not fully, because otherwise if it touches it, it's going to run hot, the metal will expand, and your brakes will seize. So now with all that installed, I'm going to center the brake shoes. So therefore, I'm just going to depress the brakes, and then they should open up and they will center themselves around the drum. The distance between the brake lining and the drum might not be optimum yet, but at least they will be both in the proper location. Right, so that has happened. Let's feel. And you feel this is still very loose, so now we need to adjust that brake in the back. Our little tool that we made for the adjustment. So let's see if we can get these brakes locking up first. Okay, probably need to turn the other way. Yep. See, now we're starting to have some friction. Even more now. If I turn a bit more, you can feel that the lining of the brakes are really pushing against the drum. Of course, that is no good, so we go back a little bit until it just touches. So now the drum is not really rubbing over it, but it's very close to it. And this is what you want to have. Now the best thing to do now is to put the wheels on and take the car for a test ride, and then check it again and feel if the drums are getting warm. If they do get warm, then you have an issue actually with that alignment, and you have to get them more inwards. So this is all what you need to do on the drum brake, so not really complicated. So this side is ready. Now I'm going to do the other side.
Your car will most likely have a manual brake, and the manual brake is having an additional lever and a spring inside the brake drum identified by the yellow rectangle. So don't forget to install that. You may have to adjust the manual brake cables, but the main adjustment is still on the top of the brake drum as we have explained. You will also find a little picture here on how that lever looks like, and a little bit of a close-up on where that is fitted. So we've come to the end of the video, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.